Mike Menendez, and I'm on small talk. Because you're small, I just.
It is. Thank you so much for being on Small Talk. Hey, sweethearts. Welcome to another episode of Small Talk with yours truly, Lila Hart. Today is very exciting because we have a very important guest. He's a full-time resident here at Channel 310 Studios, and he's popped up in many episodes when he comes back from the gym or hiking and yoga and comedy and all the crazy stuff that he's out in the world doing. It's Mike the Menendez. Mike Menendez. Yay!
I don't do yoga, Lila.
You totally do yoga.
I did it once or twice. I don't do it.
Okay, well, the once or twice time that you did it, I ran into you.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
What a small world.
What a small world it is, Lila.
Small talk.
It was a terrible start.
It's wonderful. And you've got great skin. Have you been tanning?
I always exercise outside. I don't like being in gyms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of gyms. There's a lot of weird energy in gyms.
Right.
Yeah. I never said, like, sometimes, and I love running outside, like down Melrose. I always run outside. A lot of people have said that they've seen me running. There's like...
Mm-hmm. I've seen you.
Yeah, I run all the time down Melrose. I ran today. Every time I go by a gym and there's like treadmills along the window, I'll always stop and run in place and just be like, it's free out here. It's like free out here, and there's the sun, and you can fuck with people as you run by them. I do it all. I really do fuck with people. But sometimes if like an old guy's coming by, I'll stop in place and then shimmy in front of them and then keep running. Like, it's just, I don't know why. I don't know why, Lila.
Well, I like to exercise outside for free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't afford a gym membership, so
No,
I'm like, why would you not hike outside?
Yeah.
It's for free.
Hike. I play a lot of basketball. I play basketball like 2 or 3 times a week. There's a homeless guy I play basketball with.
Oh, wow.
His name is Oliver. Very nice guy, and he is in better shape than all my friends. He's one of those homeless dudes. And I always catch him at Poinsettia Park. And we always play one-on-one together. Well, we'll start with 3 games of horse because he loves playing horse. And he'll always say, "Look, I'm the horse champion now." And I'm like, and I always end up beating him like 2 out of 3 games. I'm like, well, I guess I beat the champ. And then we'll play a few games on one-on-one, and he'll work me because he runs a lot. And last week it was really, really hot, and I felt bad for Oliver. Because he didn't have a lot of stuff with him, so I said, "Oliver, do you want to come with me to the 99-cent store and we can pick up some stuff?"
Oh my god.
No, it's the 99-cent store. I didn't take him.
I know, but it's still
like
so nice.
It's like $2 or $3. He was a nice enough guy. And then he ended up saying in the parking lot, in the way into the 99-cent store, one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life. He said, I asked him, what did he used to do? He said, well, I was a writer. I was like, well, what kind of books did you write? And he goes, romance novels, romance novels. And I'm like, how long has it been since you've been a writer? And he goes, oh, it was in my past life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do you mean in my past life? Well, I was reincarnated into this life, but in my past life, I was a writer.
Uh-huh.
Right? And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, it's terrible walking into like bookstores and seeing books that you wrote and you're not getting any money for in this life. And in my mind, I was like, ask him who he thinks he was. But then I was like, you know what? Don't ruin this. This is the best sentence you've ever heard. And it was the best sentence I've ever heard. A guy who thinks he was a writer in his past life going like, I can't get any fucking residuals in this life. It's just... And I dropped him off with some Gatorade, suntan lotion, water. He was cool. He was a really cool guy. Really nice guy. Clearly just made some really shitty decisions that he's regretted, and he's trying to do as much as he can.
Do you find that it's in your nature to like just strike conversations and get to know people
on a
deep level like that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm like a puppy chasing cars. I'm just like my friend Charlie Reyes from back in Miami. My friend Eddie Firth here. He runs the historical roast. I'm so happy that he's doing so well with it, by the way. Eddie Firth was talking to me the other day, and he goes, I still remember when we were at Sal's, and you were the first one to come up and talk to me, and we talked for like an hour. And the way he told me that story reminded me of my friend Charlie back in Miami. Same thing. Charlie had transferred schools, and he didn't know anybody. I saw him sitting by himself, and I went and talked to him. I like new people. I like meeting new people a lot. It's sitting down with people I already know for more than like 10 minutes that I'm like, no thanks. I already kind of know everything about you. So like if you ever see me in a party or something like that, it's like 5 minutes with one group, 5 minutes with another group.
Oh, I get it. I definitely see you when we're at the Comedy Store. You're definitely like out talking to all different types of people. And I'm like, well, Mike really knows a lot of people. I don't remember the particular first time I met you, but I do remember the first time I heard you and saw you on stage performing.
Where was it?
It was at the Brouhaha.
Oh, wow.
And it was my very first Brouhaha, and I'd never been to that show.
Fantastic show.
It was absolutely amazing. It's like a backyard comedy show. And you got on there and you freaking murdered it. I'm like, who is this guy? He's so funny. You were so polished, and your storytelling was just like, it was so good. I was so new into comedy at that time too. I think I'd only been doing comedy for maybe a year, and so it was definitely a really big show to me because I got to see like a lot of my peers that I'd seen at open mics like totally crush it because I'd seen you before, but to see you perform at such a high level like that was very inspiring.
It was fun. I mean, Brad Selmutzer runs an amazing show. Brad Selmutzer is a hustler.
Funny.
I'm really to me the best shows in Los Angeles, at least the ones that I've done, and because it's so hard to put together a great show in Los Angeles because there's just so much to do. But Chatterbox, Brouhaha, and Good Harem. I love those shows so much. And Anthony Dale runs a good show at Angel City Brewery. Those kind of shows are just amazing, and they're shows that when you do them, you're good for like 2 months. Like morale-wise, you're just good for 2 months. And tonight I'm actually headlining Chatterbox, which is going to be a lot of fun. One of my favorite shows. I got to do a half hour. And
that's amazing.
It was fun, like, because I was kind of mopey a couple days ago. I was just because of just stuff.
Life, yeah.
Just stuff that's superfluous in nature, but I fixate on for some reason. And I was thinking, my friend Chris Estrada texted me. He's like, hey, you killed Chatterbox. And I remember when me and him, when we were just doing open mics, like 3 years in, and all we wanted to do was just get 8 minutes on Chatterbox, be on Brouhaha, get some spots at the Improv. And we did all those things. And now we're kind of in the rotation, but for some reason we forget that. And I hate that I forget it sometimes, but I'm starting to remember it again, and that's why I'm happy.
Oh, and you deserve it.
Part of the fun of being a comedian is being able to play like a goofy mailman or some shit like that. Like, I don't think there's anything funnier than Steve Martin as a gas station attendant going, he hates these cans! And I wish people would do more of that. I wish people would play like bigger, goofier, like lower tiers of society. Because I feel like that's not shown anymore. That's like the same. That whole thing starts like with Charlie Chaplin playing the tramp in all his films, and it's just like he's this bottom of society man that just keeps trying and somehow is able to outsmart like police officers and everything like that. I feel like I don't see a lot of stuff like that anymore. That's the kind of stuff I want to do.
And that's the kind of things that you want to bring back.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking. I don't know if I want to say the idea, not to jinx it, but I like writing stuff about people who. I like writing stuff about people who other people would chalk up as crazy, or quirky or outlandish. Like for the longest time, I've had a story in my head about a Ferris wheel operator who falls in love with a contortionist on the Venice boardwalk. I've had this idea in my head for like a year now. I actually haven't written it yet, but I really want. I wrote like 25 pages of it because it was supposed to be like it was part of a bigger thing. But just exploring like, yeah, someone has to operate the Ferris wheel in Santa Monica, and yeah, there are contortionists out there. I've seen them in Jumbo's Clown Room. I've seen them in Cirque du Soleil. They have to start somewhere. And what if that was a romance? What would that be like? And I want the Ferris wheel operator to be like a rock and roll Ferris wheel operator. Like he fucks with the lights and he slows it down on slower songs and he speeds it up like on AC/DC. And he gets laid like for some reason all the time. like people love the Ferris wheel operator.
Did you get into comedy to get into movies and TV?
Mm-hmm. Originally, I started that way because I was an actor, and I was like, "Oh, let me
okay, I could see that.
Let me do comedy to, to get into sitcoms and all that stuff." And then I fucked up because I fell in love with comedy.
What do you love the most about comedy?
Oh.
What do you love the most about being a stand-up?
Performing. It really is that simple. Perform.
Mm-hmm.
I love it to death, especially now because my personal life is in just limbo because I'm transitioning out of being with someone to now like being by myself and it's rough out here. It's really rough out here, and now when I go on stage, I'm really happy to be there because it's the only time I'm not thinking about somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think about someone's face if I have 100 faces in front of me.
Right.
I have to be completely present. It's really the only time I'm like completely present.
And being in the moment.
Yeah, not thinking backwards, not thinking forwards, because my brain's racing during the day. Yeah.
No, I totally feel that. I love that because when you're being like your highest self and doing what you absolutely love and actually utilizing your talents to the fullest, you get to feel and be in the moment. Yeah. Performance. You're a very good performer.
That's what I started as though. I was more of a performer when I started out. I would perform the hell out of horrible material. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing my friends always said about me. My friends, which thank God they let me hang out with them because I learned how to write jokes hanging around them. I know some great joke writers. And when I was hanging around them, they would say like, "Man, that's a horrible bit," but I watched it the whole time. It's like, because at the very least, that was interesting. Mm-hmm. And that's good because I feel it's like harder to go from writer to performer than it is from performer to writer, because writing I think can kind of be learned. Yeah. Performing you can learn, but like that natural just motor.
How do you stay committed to the performance piece when you feel like the audience isn't laughing? Or how do you deal with bombing?
Just ride the energy and just comment on what's going on, but just stay with whatever it is you're doing, but just address it. And usually it's one or two people that are ruining a show, and just you look at them and that's it. Yeah, I've been lucky that I haven't had too many horrible bombing experiences. I've bombed, but not like this. Like, this was a crossroads in my stand-up life. I'm like,
Well, I find it interesting because I feel like it can go both ways. Like I haven't had a real bomb per se myself, except one time I cried.
You probably have, but in your head you convinced yourself you didn't, because I do that sometimes. I have done sometimes. Just like, hey, 2 or 3 people laughed.
Yeah.
In a room of 500, whatever it is. No, but you know what I mean. It's just like you convince yourself. I know what a tepid set sounds like now. Mm-hmm. I know what it sounds like, and it's just about bringing up your consistency level. It's not always about killing. It's always about, are you consistently good? Like, even when you're workshopping new stuff, are you able to?
How often are you writing?
I don't like sit down and actually like write for 3 hours or anything like that. I go to my bar a lot, and I'll riff with customers because it's a place full of like industry folks, like script writers and key grips and designers for sets and stuff like that, and they're all like, a lot of them are horrible drunks who need a laugh. And to me, I like saying the most like brain jolting shit to make them, like, for instance, there was one guy I was drinking with him, and and then I pretended to be sad, and I was like, my father was very distant. And he goes, "Really, man?" And I go, "Yeah, but it wasn't his fault. He was a bag of Doritos with sunglasses." I said that, and he just like went, "What?" He started laughing, because it jolted him out of whatever the hell he was thinking about. You get it, Eric?
Yeah.
You started to get it? It's funny but Steve Randolph brought that up to me the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I love Steve Randolph, man. The Martin shit is hilarious. He brought it up to me the other day. I think he heard it 2 years ago. I said that at a party or some shit, and he goes, he came up to me the other day. He's like, yeah, my dad was a bag of reels or something. I'm like, I can't believe you remember that. I've always wanted to say it on stage, but the problem is I can't fit it anywhere in my act. For some reason, it's really funny to me that a kid is raised by a bag of Doritos with sunglasses. And they're playing catch, and the ball just rolls past the bag of Doritos with sunglasses, and the kid just cries. Also, I've been fixated recently on the idea of a threesome baby.
A threesome?
Like a kid who's conceived during a threesome, but no one knows they don't know who the dad is because it's a threesome, and then both the dads are like, you know what? We're both in.
Sounds like an episode of Maury.
A threesome, baby. I don't know why that's funny.
Oh, God. That is
I can't, again, another thing I can't say on stage.
Well, we could talk about it on Small Talk.
We can talk about
These
Small
are
Talk.
ideas.
I'll probably put it into a video or something.
Yeah,
like
that come to us.
Oh
So can you, so you're from Chicago.
I'm from Miami.
You're from Miami.
I lived in Chicago for a year.
And you just came back from Chicago.
I came back from Chicago. I'll be in Chicago again at Zany's Comedy Club September 17th through the 23rd, featuring for an entire week again. That club has been amazing to me. They've been so wonderful, and it's such an old club, and they've repaired it, but they've repaired the club, but they haven't torn down any of the original walls or anything like that. Like they've kept the old timey look of it, and I like that. I like going to clubs like that. I mean, I love independent shows as much as the next person, but sometimes it's really fun to go into a really nice club.
Yeah.
And just there's Richard Lewis on the wall. There's Jerry Seinfeld, and then there's crazy Willie Baloney, who hasn't done stand up since 1983. Whatever. He sells aluminum siding now in Peoria. It's fun to see all that and just know that they performed here, I performed here, and am I going to be Willie Baloney, or am I going to be Jerry Seinfeld, or am I going to be somewhere in between?
Well, it's definitely, you're going to be doing it forever.
I am going to be doing it forever.
Yeah.
That's why I think I've been really depressed lately.
Oh.
Not depressed, but like sad, because I'm far enough in it and I'm getting enough opportunities that I'm like, okay, I can't quit.
You can't.
But it's also, oh man, I can't quit.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not gonna be able to do anything else by the time I get out of this. I've dedicated too much time already to this to just go and just say you guys need a graphic designer, even though I've never studied that.
Exactly. How do you feel comedy has changed since you started to where you are now?
Well, I know how I've changed, and I know when everybody else started to change. The way I've changed is that I'm a big fan of writing now. I'm a huge fan of writing, and then I'll use performance to elevate a bit to something a little higher. After the election, it's like comedy was divided into two camps, and it's those who are trying to change the world and those who are just trying to be funny. That's what it seemed to happen. And it was weird. I found myself now gravitating towards comics that I had not liked before on a personal level, just because we didn't mesh well, but just based on we're just trying to be funny. We're just trying to be funny. And I have no problem with political humor as long as it's funny in nature and not just saying a horrible thing about somebody's kid or somebody's face or whatever. I didn't get into this to be a political like a political person. And it seems it's been a lot of that. And I used to talk about being Cuban on stage quite a bit, and it's been a while since I've had a bit where I've talked about being Cuban, because I now realize I'm just I just want to do silly things that exist in a vacuum, like vacuum creativity. There's no, or I guess I don't know if vacuum is the right analogy. Maybe it's microwave.
Right.
Microwave type of, yeah.
You just want to do comedy that...
I just want to be funny.
Just be funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, we believe like there's like this certain timeline that things need to get accomplished, but the most important thing is just stay consistently funny.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it anymore. I used to be worried about it. But now I feel myself... I'm happy creatively because I'm doing whatever I want because I don't have a manager like barking down like my neck, just going like breathing down my neck, just going like you have to do this to get to. It's like I'm just completely free right now, and it's a lot of fun. I'm doing really weird bits and making them funny. Yeah, so that's how it's changed, for me, but I feel like the really silly stuff is gonna make a comeback soon.
I believe it is too.
Because I think the public, every time I travel to another city, like Chicago, San Diego, San Francisco, Miami, New York, well, not New York, but New Jersey, like parts of the country that are not the two big cities, LA and New York, no one puts as much stake in any of this stuff as LA and New York people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you move out here, you're so super serious about pursuing this, and why would you not? It's already an accomplishment to be living out here.
Yeah, it is. And I think sometimes people forget we live in such a beautiful place.
We do.
And we have a lot of problems, and I completely agree. There's a lot of problems out there that are now being addressed, and they're long overdue. But at the same time, it's like, eventually you have to turn off and hang out with family and friends and care about those sort of things.
Exactly.
That's why the rest of America doesn't give too much a shit about this, because they got families to worry about. They don't have time. Right. This is a city full of like people who are running away from having families.
Right.
And I'm not running away from it. I want that one day, definitely.
Me too.
Yeah, right?
I do.
Right? There was a baby at a show I did. Oh, another great show that I did not mention. Stretch SHP's show Cityscape. Fantastic show I did on Friday. There's a baby named Zoran there.
Aww.
It was me and Allie Mack. We were hanging and we just kept holding this baby back and forth. And I was like, I want one of these.
Yeah.
I want one of them.
Me too.
Yeah.
But right now I'm really happy about chasing my dream and doing this. Yeah. And I just think that as long as I continue to stay on this path and doing what I love, all of that will fall into place.
You're a lady. You have a whole different set of worries.
Yes.
Which I'm completely empathetic with. I'm completely empathetic.
Okay, so this is another part I like to do in my show. You're gonna look into the camera, and you're gonna talk to future Mike. In 5 to 10 years, you're gonna talk to future Mike, and you give yourself a little message. Like a little video time capsule. Ooh.
Okay. Just do it now? Mike, at 5 o'clock tomorrow, a man is going to come up to you and say he's a big fan. He is not a big fan. He will be wearing a yellow hat like the father from Curious George. No, okay. 5 to 10, this is weird. So speak to Mike 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's tough. 5 to 10. Because again, I'm trying so hard to live in the present. Now you're just jolting me back into old habits. You're gonna edit this moment out, right? This is way too vulnerable of a moment for me right now. Okay, Mike, 5 to 10 years from now. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy with more than just stand-up. And I hope stand-up led to everything you wanted like you thought it would in all aspects of your life. And don't sleep with underage girls. Just don't, okay? I know it's 10 o'clock somewhere, but don't do that. I don't know why it's funny for me to imagine that dudes that hit on underage girls, like right before they hit on them, go, it's 10 o'clock somewhere. Like that's the thing. Was that good?
That was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for finally being on Small Talk.
Of course, anything for you, Lila.
This is.
Are you not going to talk about the?
What are we talking
about? The hospital thing?
Oh, you want to talk about the hospital thing?
Can you please? Because it's a fun-ass story.
It's a fun-ass story. It was scary.
It was scary.
Okay, Eric, fun-ass story, but I'll tell my version.
Okay.
So, a few weeks back, I come home,
Mhm.
or come here, back to the studio, and the guys are playing video games. Mike comes out, and he's like, oh, my stomach hurts. Eric's smoking, playing video games. Yeah, his stomach's been hurting for hours. It usually doesn't feel good. Mike's like, you guys, should I go to the hospital? Like, my stomach's been hurting, I'm puking. And I was like, holy shit, a year ago, my stomach hurt, and I went to the hospital and had to have emergency surgery, and they said if you didn't come here, you were gonna die. So I was like, yo, we gotta take you to the emergency room. And I drove him.
I was in pain all the way through.
And he was there.
Yeah, I got my gallbladder taken out. It's funny, you know, it was the last thing I did before, and it was like my chest that was hurting, not my stomach. I thought it was like heartburn for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was worried when it wouldn't go away. I was like, oh shit,
God.
am I a 29-year-old guy that dies from a heart attack? Am I that guy? And you know, I was playing one-on-one with Oliver at Poinsettia Park, and he was whooping my ass, and all of a sudden my chest hurt. I'm like, is he whooping my ass so bad? My chest is hurting? And I left right after that, and I thought it was heartburn, so I went and got like a bunch of shit for heartburn, and then nothing happened. But yeah, I got my gallbladder taken out, and then 2 years ago I got my appendix taken out. So now all the organs that don't do anything are out of my body. So the next organ I take out will have to be replaced.
Oh my gosh. You know what? When I was driving you there, and I brought you clothes and stuff, I got lost. Like when I brought your clothes, and it took me like 30 minutes to find parking, and it was really fucked up. And I was just walking, I was like, oh, this is when you know you really give a fucking care about somebody.
I know, thank you so much.
And you know, but I feel like it's bonded us forever. Like
I really just think this year.
No, forever. For me, when
well,
you're like,
if it's unrequited, you should let it go.
No,
okay?
if you're like,
I've learned that recently. If it's unrequited, just let it go.
No, but if you're like a Jim Carrey or like this big comedian mobile, I'm gonna be like,
no,
one
that's
time
not the thing at all.
I took him to the emergency room and brought him clean underwear.
If you tell anyone that, I'll be like,
I
she's
will
been making
sell
up this
my
story for years.
Oh my gosh. No, but I'm so happy that I was here to tell these boys that you need to go to the hospital, because guys are like not like that. They're like, oh, I'm hurting. Their first instinct is not to go to the emergency room. They're like, oh,
well,
sleep it off.
Women know when to go to the emergency room because they cause pain, so they know.
Oh my gosh, that was actually really good.
They cause the pain that makes the man go to the emergency room.
Oh my god. Oh gosh. But we've had a lot of exciting and crazy things happen.
Oh, we're gonna end on that? Women cause pain.
We do.
You can see me at the...
Okay,
you can see me at the All Women's Comedy Festival in Boston,
please,
Massachusetts.
Please let us know, because this is coming out in 2 weeks, so let us know when you have any shows or where we can find you at.
Yeah.
What's going on.
I'll let you guys know for sure. I am in 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, August 18th, I will be doing a birthday show at Oino Vino in Atwater Village.
Okay.
7 o'clock, 7:30 around there, so please come to that. I'm going to have my friend Chris Gardner, Galena Ravina, and Felicia Folks is hosting the show. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be doing hopefully about 25 minutes, half hour. And then our roommate, Mark Hayes, is going to be doing some music that night. So it should be a wonderful evening. Please come by, and thank you very much for having me, Lila.
Oh, thank you, Mike. This is so awesome.
Seriously, women cause pain.
That was so funny. This has been a great episode. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is me going mad.
Oh, that's so fun. It'd be a comedy horror film.
Even Boone Chocolate was like, that's fucked up.
Oh,
I would not sell you a $1 t-shirt. You are a monster. There's a Christmas plate in there that he gave me for free.
He's gifted you something.
Yeah, he said, Mike, you want this plate? I'm like, no, I don't have money for the plate. Then Mike, it's only $10. Great, fantastic plate. And I said, Boone, I love you very much. I hope you have a happy holiday. I sincerely have no money. And then he paused for a moment, and then he looked at me and goes, you know what? Take the plate. I'm like, what? He goes, you don't have to pay for it. You just take it. I said, why? He's like, because you're a good guy, and I know you have friends, and maybe they'll come over for the holidays, and you put cookies and candies on that plate for your friends.